Coming at you live from Rostock, Germany. I'm hanging out in my kid's room because he's not here today. He's over there hanging out with his mom. And this is another edition of Trumpet War. Now, you know, what the Americans and the Israelis did over in Iran was a really criminal act. I'm saying it's a real criminal act. They sell it to the Americans as something that was necessary, but when they were in talks with the Iranians about getting rid of the possibility that they were trying to make a bomb or whatever, they were in these talks, and it was just all forgotten, the progress that they were making, and Israel decided just to bomb Iran. And I'm certain that they talked Trump into it because Trump needed something to distract from the Epstein files. And so, therefore, he was all on board with it. Now, it is not just this act of stupidity by the Donald Trump administration that really should be raising red flags for everybody around the world in regards to the Trump regime. Already, Trump and the military has attacked boats off of Venezuela. They have gone in and taken the leader of Venezuela and arrested him and taken him to New York. That for me is a straight up kidnapping. How do they justify that? If that is something that is allowed in international law for someone just to make a claim that some president is breaking the law or is a national security risk or whatever, then why don't they claim that Vladimir Putin is a national security risk since he's attacked another nation without warning and is running soldiers left and right over the border in Ukraine? So, what the Trump administration has been doing is illegal, and they're going to be facing the criminal court at some point. I can imagine they will all be sitting before the International Criminal Court. At least Pete Hegseth, possibly Marco Rubio as well, and definitely Donald Trump. So, like I said, thank you for joining me. This is Matt Fox. I'm coming to you live from Rostock, Germany, in my kids' room today. Thanks for joining me. Give me a thumbs up, and yeah, let's get into it. So the Trump administration is continuing its attacks on Iran, and Iran is not going to have any more of it. They've already threatened his life, so that means that they will be sending lone wolf attacks in America. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I don't know when, I don't know how, but it's going to happen. And probably not just one, but they have already threatened Trump. They've already threatened Trump particularly, and his family. See, and his family. So when it starts to go down and stuff happens, you're going to know why. You know what I'm saying? If you have a member of your family that is killed, then maybe you'll start to grasp what you've done. You know what I'm saying? That's some serious stuff. So more troops are headed to the Persian Gulf areas. Oh, more troops means more deaths, because that area over there is really, really dangerous right now. The Iranians are throwing missiles and rockets and drones left and right, hitting infrastructure in Dubai, hitting infrastructure in Oman, and they're trying to figure a way to negotiate their way out of this mess that Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu have got them in. So they're asking Pakistan for help to try to get out of this situation, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen very fast. And even though it's in discussion, Israel ain't trying to hear it. Can you say carpet bombing? Yeah, I could say carpet bombing, but carpet bombing is not gonna, it's not gonna finish it. Iran is a big nation, and Iran has mountains and mountains and mountains all around it. And I'm not so certain that the American bombs are going to be able to touch every rocket and missile that they have. So they have discussed the fact that they will be shooting some hypersonic missiles pretty soon, so that's something to look forward to. And if these missiles can reach the United States, I think that will make an impression upon the Americans. Um, I mean, it's already impressed me enough that these individuals have. Well, thanks a lot for giving me your input, Edward, and we'll see about that. I don't think that that's going to happen like that. But Edward seems to think that mountains can be leveled. Okay, but it's going to take a lot of bombs to level one mountain. A lot of bombs just to level one mountain. So, nevertheless, I hope that somehow, some way, that the Americans can just extract themselves from this situation. I just don't have so much faith in the Trump administration to make good decisions. They made a very bad decision, and Americans are paying out the ass for gas right now. So, um, like I said, I'm in Rostock, Germany. I'm an American. I am from Los Angeles, and I'm out here because I've got a son out here, and I'm gonna do what I. Hey, Matthew, what's up? That's my name too. Yeah, yeah. Boy, boy, boy. Okay, so let me ask you this for all you MAGA people or anybody that's behind Trump, who is going to be the one to carry the torch when Trump is gone? I mean, um, let's say something happens to Trump. Let's say medical, his health goes bad, and Rubio, really? I thought it was just supposed to be Vance. We've got people on both sides. You got MAGA on one side saying it's supposed to be Vance, and the other side saying it's Rubio. Trump's throwing them both out there, and I'm thinking they're both going to be. No, I would not want Vance, or I'm a Republican, by the way. For everybody watching, I'm a Republican. I voted Republican almost all my life. I did not vote for Trump, never have, never will, because I met or knew of him in '85, where he was at a same location where I was at, and I talked to my manager and asked him about him, and he told me all about him back then. That was in '85, and I followed more or less what he's been doing since then, because I also lived in Palm Beach. So, um, just going to say that Trump is not a good person, has never been a good person. Probably cheated his way through school. He doesn't seem to have a very big vocabulary. I mean, so I don't see how everybody can just fall into line with this guy when really he has no serious understanding of how economics work, how businesses work. The man has been responsible for almost 100 and something chapter 11, chapter 13. So, yeah, so I'm going to put it out there like this. He is not a smart man. He has offended NATO in a very bad way, talking bad about NATO. NATO is a defense alliance, And for one nation to just go and attack another nation and then expect that all the members of NATO are supposed to jump in and help them beat up somebody else, this other nation, that's not right. And Trump, threatening Greenland and all this and all that. I mean, they are already looking at this guy thinking he needs to go because do you have a head injury? Yes, I do. Oh, my hair's falling out. It's bad. Oh, it's bad. That's what happens when you get old. So, but nevertheless, NATO is trying to be quiet. They're trying to chill and let the Trump administration. It's gonna fall. It's gonna fucking it's going to fall apart together. You know what I'm saying? From within, because the MAGA is pissed because of Trump's fighting these wars for what? For no reason. And there's another side where they're trying to hold on and they're trying to back Trump, but the fact is he has dragged us into this war, and gas prices are going up. And not just in America. Gas prices in America are over $1, okay? Over $1 more than it was a month ago. So that's one thing to look at. It's going to get more, it's going to go up more. Iran is shooting for $200 a barrel prices. Gas goes, if oil goes up to $200 a barrel, you guys will be paying over $10 a gallon. Okay? So, I thought you Yanks were the chosen. Yeah, no, not every American is the same. Not every American is the same. Like I said, I am a Republican, but I've never voted for Trump because he is stupid. So, besides that, the guy is possibly, allegedly, a pedophile. He's uh, in the Epstein files more than God is in the Bible. And they said they were going to release the Epstein files, but yet they're withholding over 300 million pages or documents from the public. And another thing, let's discuss what Donald Trump himself told to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, he told Marjorie Taylor Greene that the Epstein files should not come out because it will hurt his friends. Okay, I don't care who his friends are. I don't care if it's a man, if it's a woman, if it's a business person, if it's a politician. It doesn't matter. If these people were possibly killing and eating kids, or possibly doing some bad sexual things with kids, I don't know. That's not my type of people to put my vote behind. Would you vote for a pedophile? Again, I mean, would you really vote for a pedophile for president? I mean, if every one of you were given the chance to vote again, I think many of you would say, maybe not. Okay? So, um, the thing is, who is going to come after Trump? Because Trump's not going to be there forever. Who wrote that? Somebody is a super Trump lover. Let's go, Brandon. Oh man, hey, let's go, Brandon. Okay, whatever. Say good for you, man. He's going to die at some point. I mean, have you seen his neck? Have you seen his thick ankles? I mean, have you seen his hand? He's not going to be around much longer. I'm just saying. Um, okay, show a little proof. Okay, here you go. We got somebody who wants some proof. Here, Rodney West, 8272. Okay, Rodney, I got you. Hold on a second. I'm going to show you something. So, right there, you see a document from the FBI where it says Trump knew or was actively recruiting girls. All right, that's from the Epstein files. So let me show you this. Let's see. That's from the No Kings protests. 9 million people showed out around the world, and I think that's very impressive. Another thing, I would like to discuss how the Republicans are going to purge themselves of this disease called MAGA. Trump is not a pedo. No, he is a pedo. He totally is. He totally is. Okay. So, nevertheless, who is going to take Trump's place when he dies? When he dies. And it's the Iranians' thoughts that they want to be the ones to purge America of Trump, because Trump has done some bad things over there in Iran. He's bombed a school full of children, 180 deaths in one day, and it's looking pretty bad. I can say that the Iranians don't forget. The Iranians do not forget. So, besides that, Vance and Rubio, neither of them can get in there because they're probably both going to be facing some charges by the International Criminal Court. So when this is all over and done with, it's going to be, we get it, you're pro-terrorism. No, terrorism is what the Americans and the Israelis are doing now in Iran. That was not necessary because they were already in negotiations to rein in the whole nuclear situation over there. And they had already bombed it 8 months ago and said it was totally obliterated. So, I mean, you cannot say, just all of a sudden they're going to have a bomb in 2 weeks. I mean, do they think Americans are so gullible that they're going to believe that? Well, obviously somebody does, right? Obviously somebody does. So the Democrats, they're really shitty on their messaging. They're really, I'm just gonna say it. The Democrats are shitty on their messaging. Okay, they have the situation right now where they're going to be in control of the House and in control of the Senate. But when it comes to putting somebody in the presidency, man, I don't see them making any way. So, but the Republicans need to get somebody who's willing to say MAGA has got to go. We have to start over to the grand old party, what we were before. Yeah, Slava Ukraini. That's right. Okay. Yeah, because Putin is Trump's buddy. Every time Trump has Putin around him, he's throwing out a red carpet for him and, what I'm saying, kissing his ass, clapping his hands and everything. So Donald Trump is more than likely being blackmailed by Putin. Putin has the pictures because there was an email from Mark Epstein to Jeffrey Epstein, and he asked him, "Do you think Putin has the pictures of Trump blowing Bubba?" So for all of you Trump lovers, why don't you just find out who Bubba is? Because I really would like to know who Bubba was. So there is one Democrat that I would like to bring out and talk about for a second. There's this guy, I think he's from Minnesota or one of those northern states up there. Fetterman. He might be Pennsylvania. I can't even remember. But Fetterman's got to go. This guy is supposed to be voting with the Democratic Party, and because of his actions, the quite a few situations have been more difficult to get through the Congress and the Senate. And so he really needs to go find himself a new gig because he's not helping the whole situation. The Iranian war, Trump's and Israelis, he's not making it any easier. And Iran is looking to broaden attacks outside of the Gulf. And they're talking about attacking in Europe now. Now, I'm in Europe, I'm in Rostock, Germany. And we sit here on the other side of Poland and Ukraine. And so, I mean, if the Ukrainians lose, then they're going to be coming left this way. I don't care. I'm old. You know what I'm saying? I'm old. So, but nevertheless, the Trump administration needs to figure out what they're going to do because all this talking about there's going to be some sort of negotiations. They're not negotiating. It is the Gulf states that are trying to negotiate out of this situation, and it's not been easy. So, and I don't know if Pakistan is expecting something for the cooperation that they've been giving to the Gulf states. I'm certain they probably will. No? Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Fox. This is Matt Fox on the Tube, and I'm in Rostock, Germany. So thanks for watching. Give me a like, subscribe, doesn't cost anything, and please comment. I love your comments. Trump, 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 Trump. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know. But the thing is outside of the Gulf and into Europe, they're talking about possibly doing some attacks in Europe as well. So I hope that we're going to see some major change pretty soon because, like I said, gas is up to $4 a gallon in America. And like I said, the Iranians are talking, they want $200 a barrel gas, oil. So if that goes up like that, you guys are going to be paying like $10. Mark my words. Um, Social media, there was a big case in social media the other day, Meta and Google. They are appealing the decision, but I think it's something that needs to be uh, yeah, Brad, 295 on your way to work. Okay, well, that's pretty good, but the average price, I just looked it up, is 398 a gallon. 398 a gallon for premium, I guess. So, nevertheless, America needs to be energy independent. They need to have more green energy because that's what many nations are doing. And green energy is saving the environment. You know what I'm saying these guys are over there blowing up oil tankers and blowing up storage facilities. It's all going into the air and it's creating pollution like you never knew before. You know what I'm saying? So, as Trump would say. So the No King's March was the other day or yesterday, and it was a major deal. And there was some violence in some of them. Luckily, there were no serious injuries, but you know, when people get together like that, you know what I'm saying? It's for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And nobody, nobody, even the Republicans, are denying that the Epstein situation occurred. The only one that's denying it is Donald Trump. He tried to stop the release of the Epstein files until it couldn't. He knew he couldn't stop it. So release all the files. Release all the files and all of the information that occurred and all of the individuals involved because Germany is mass important. Yeah. That was something that was a few years ago because of those wars that were happening in Afghanistan and Iraq, and they are having some issues with immigration over here in Europe as well. I'll give you that. But they're dealing with it now that some of those nations are gone back to being not in war. Then these people are being sent back. So clearly that's going to be something that's going to also be changing here in the future. But my main point about all of this is that Donald Trump and his administration are eventually going to have to are going to go when the Democrats get in there and they get the majority. Then it's over with. Donald Trump will be a lame duck president. He won't be able to get anything passed. He will be impeached. He will be impeached. There's no doubt about that. So the only way that he can keep that from happening is to steal your vote, to steal your vote or steal the vote of Democrats. And that's what they're trying to do. They're already working to steal the votes of everybody who would vote against Trump. And when you go to the polls and they come back and they say, yeah, 80% of Americans voted for Trump, you already know what's going on. All right. So, um, another thing I'm going to put out there when Trump had Zelensky over there in the White House, there was one particular moment that really stood out to me, and that was in regards to the elections in the Ukraine. Now, Ukraine being is occupied in some areas by the Russians, and they are at war on their own soil, and therefore they cannot have a vote. I'm saying a nationwide election. So when Trump heard that, he didn't know that. He didn't know that. But when Trump heard him say that, his eyes kind of lit up, and you saw like a big freaking light bulb on his head. He seems to be under the impression that if America is at war, that there will be no votes. There will not be an election until the war is over. This is what he thinks. Okay, he's not. I already told you he's not a smart guy. His vocabulary is very minimal. All right. Um, so he thinks that if he goes and starts a war somewhere, that there's not going to be any elections in America. So if he goes and starts a war in Iran, just because they're in a war over there does not mean there won't be any elections. The midterms will happen, but he is under the impression that it will not. So when the time comes, if he does what I think he's going to do, then America will be up in arms because they ain't going to be trying to hear it. Just like the Iranians ain't trying to hear it now. The Iranians are going to be coming and knocking on Trump's door somehow, some way. And people in America should be really keeping an eye out for where they live, because the Jewish facilities, whatever, synagogues, whatever they call them, probably will be being attacked, will be targeted by Iranians or possible terrorists. Yeah. We say terrorists when they are attacking in our land. We say terrorists, right? So, but when we're attacking in their land, we're the terrorists, right? Because they weren't doing anything to us. They just went over there. So I really feel sorry for Americans that fell for all of the stuff that Trump has said and all of the things that Trump is doing, because he promised that what is he, a NASCAR driver? Yeah. Um, Americans are the one that are paying. You're paying at the pump, you're paying at the grocery store, more and more and more. Prices are going up. You see it, everybody else is seeing it as well. So, and it's going to get worse. I really hate to break it to you, but it's going to get worse. So, shout out to Drewski. Here you go. I saw this the other day. This dude, man, I just have to show you guys this. That's so funny. This is a comedian. He did a video, and he's actually a black guy, and he dressed up as Erica Kirk. I thought it was so funny. You guys gotta watch it sometime. All right. So, um, let's hope and pray that there's going to be some peace over there in the Gulf, and that somehow, some way, um, yeah, right. All right. Thanks a lot for that. Thanks for your comments, everybody. It doesn't matter whether you agree with what I'm saying or I agree with what you're saying. What is important is that there is some peace